Greetings and salutations. Thought I would come on and pull a card for the collective and see what message comes through. Just inviting you in this moment to pause and just take a deep breath and relax into this moment, just setting the intention to call in a message in the greatest and highest good of the collective. A message of peace, of clarity, of wisdom. What is it that we need to hear in this moment to help guide us forward? As we are navigating on this path with so many shifts that are taking place, so many heavy things that we might be moving through within our personal lives, definitely within the collective. There is so much that's happening in the external that can feel intense, and it can be kind of daunting thinking of how is it we're going to be navigating forward through all of this, recognizing that, there's a lot left to come, and just kind of, acknowledging that we have to figure out how we're going to sustain on this path forward, because I believe that things are going to continue to become increasingly heavy, as we are evolving as a collective, right? We are going through some immense growing pains, and that pain is going to get deeper, so just pulling a card in this moment, seeing what message comes through, just calling in the wisdom of our ancestors, our guardian angels, our spirit guides, just trusting that their presence is here as it always is, feeling into that presence in this moment, feeling that energy of their presence just flowing through, just breathing that in. And as I shuffle, just staying present in your heart space, continuing to breathe. Ooh, this is a few. I think I'm gonna keep shuffling. I feel like all right. We have perspective, none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. And then activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. And for this one, perspective, none of this matters, zoom out, common ground. Common ground, something that we really need to allow ourselves to try and find, right? There is definitely a deep calling for us to shift our perspective, right? To adjust the way that we are looking at things, the way that we are viewing things and people, I think everything that is happening right now is demonstrating just how important it is for us to find a way to come together, right? You know, I think the hot topic right now has been Charlie Kirk, right? But it's not about Charlie Kirk. It's not about one person, you know. That in and of itself, while yes, every life is sacred, right? It is. I believe that. Every single life is sacred, including his, right? But what's happening right now, as much as the conversation is about Charlie Kirk, what's happening now is not about him, right? It's about us, the people, right? And all the different emotions and feelings that are coming up around it, right? And how those emotions and feelings are being used against us. You know, and I kind of feel like a broken record because I've been making like a few different videos talking about this, and yeah, I think it's relevant. I think it's important. It's important for us to recognize how often we're being used. You know, how often these moments in time, these events, these tragedies are used to manipulate us, right? Kind of playing with our emotions, pitting us against each other. You know, just thinking of, you know, when within the first, you know, few hours of him being shot, right? The narratives were already being created, you know? So just paying attention to those things and not allowing ourselves to be pawns in their grander game, you know? Allowing yourself to zoom out, right? To look at it from a higher perspective, right? Sometimes we're a bit too close. And when we're too close, it can be hard to see the full picture, you know? I think I'm going to read this one. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective, shift your point of view, and zoom out, out, out. We are but a speck of dust in the universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for our eventual extinction. We build fences and walls and create invisible borders. Mother Earth doesn't need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We become so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. This moment is a breath in the timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in the timeline of the known universe, and the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, to find deep compassion in your heart, to gain a greater perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment, in the timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. In the Starseed Soul Inquiry, how are you being called to change your perspective? Right? Yeah. So important right now, right? Everybody's just like at odds. Allow yourself to recognize that we are all feeling pain. Regardless of what side of whatever spectrum it is you fall, politics, religion, race, gender, whatever it is, right? Whatever side of whatever spectrum it is that you fall, recognize that every single human being is experiencing some kind of pain, right? Is acting and responding and reacting out of some kind of pain, some kind of deeper trauma, right? Actually just made a video like not long before pulling this card, just talking about, you know, allowing ourselves to listen, right? To listen to the pain behind what people are saying, right? Sometimes we get so caught up on the words, right? And the rightness or wrongness of what people are saying, and, you know, the need to condemn, you know, this response or reaction, or to point a finger and to find somewhere for that blame to land, right? But it's on all of us, right? We are all a part of this collective, and it's going to take all of us, you know, recognizing that in order to move forward. It's going to take all of us allowing ourselves to look within, to figure out and navigate through whatever it is that's coming up for us, right? To heal within that, so that we can come together, you know. And I don't mean like in a kumbaya, we all are getting along and agreeing with everything. Like that's not realistic. That's not gonna happen, right? Like billions of individuals with billions of different ideas and perspectives and desires, and very often we're gonna find some conflict, right? Conflict in and of itself is not a bad thing, right? It's how we navigate that, right? We can't have such rigid rules of how people need to be and act in order for us to feel comfort, right? We have to learn acceptance. We have to learn to be open to hearing out people that we don't agree with. If we're not able to have conversations with each other, if we're not able to come together and talk and look each other in the eye and say, I see you, right? I see your pain. I feel pain too, right? If we can't do that, we're going to be stuck right here. Or, you know, we're just going to continue going backwards, you know? Like, we have to wake up. We have to allow ourselves to you know, get out of our own way. We're the ones that are blocking ourselves. No one is blocking us, you know. It's on all of us. We are all perpetuating these cycles. Like, we're all a part of it. So we all have to allow ourselves to take accountability for the parts that we play, you know. It's no one person's fault, right? It's no fault. It just kind of, it is. It's a part of this process of life that we're navigating through, and we just have to allow ourselves to meet the moment, you know, not try to fight it. But yeah. The other card was Activated Earth, Power Places, Ley Lines, Trust Where You're Led, you know, following that internal guidance, you know, and allowing yourself to take a step back as well and kind of differentiate what is ego from what's intuition, right? In which ways are we being led by fear, and how can we make a shift and allow ourselves to be led by love, you know? This was supposed to be a shorter video. I wanted to post it on Instagram. Maybe I'll cut a piece and share it there, but yeah, this was the message in the moment. I hope it landed. Yeah, you know, I know that there's a lot of frustration that is moving through, a lot of grief. You know, there's so much that's happening, and right now is not the time to point fingers and police. And this is not to say that it's not a time to acknowledge the harm that's being caused, right? Because it is, right? We definitely do need to acknowledge that there are multiple genocides that are taking place. We definitely do need to acknowledge that these systems of oppression are clearly getting out of hand. We need to acknowledge the direction it is that we are going as a collective, right? We need to acknowledge that this is not a war amongst the people, right? This is a war against the people, you know, those in power, right? The, what do you call them? What's the word? The whatever elite, you know, whatever it is, whatever word or label that we have for, you know, all those that are sitting at the top, profiting off of our pain, profiting off of the exploitation of the people, right? We need to recognize that we are being fooled into thinking that our enemies are the ones down here that are standing across from us, but that's not the case. We are not each other's enemy, right? The enemy is, or are, these systems, right? It's not the people, right? The people are all being played by these systems that are in place. And yes, there are people that are running these systems, but ultimately, even the people at the top, you know, when you dig down deep into it, there's pain, there's trauma. This doesn't mean that they don't need to be held accountable. They absolutely do, right? This doesn't mean that we, the people, don't need to rise up against these systems and those in power that are pushing for it to continue, because we absolutely do, right? The people united will never be defeated, right? But we have to come together. We have to find that common ground. We have to recognize that we're actually a lot more alike than we are different. We've just been conditioned to believe that we're not, right? They keep us distracted with all of these different not finding the words, right? When you look at politics, us versus them, they keep us distracted with those concepts in so many different, you know, facets, within race, within religion, within politics, within gender, right? They keep stoking up all of this anger and fear, and they manipulate us with it, right? But yeah, that is all in this moment. This definitely went on a lot longer than I had anticipated, but that's what wanted to flow through, and that is what did. So here we are. But yeah, I'm gonna stop there. If you have listened all the way, I appreciate you. What is this? It's like rubber. It's like squishy. Yeah, okay. Distractions everywhere. But yes, with that, again, I am complete. Sending so much love, peace, and positive vibrations. Yeah. Peace. Up.